Dr. Tayler Jacobs. The reason why we call it a pod class is because we are always giving you game. We focus on four major pillars when we think about restoring the people that are listening to this podcast. One, restoring your focus, because a person who doesn't have discipline is a person who cannot get ahead. Restoring your family, having access to a community or a group of people that believe the same thing that you believe and are all committed to one specific goal is important to your strength. Number three, restoring your finances. A broke person can't go nowhere because you need finances to move anything. And number four, restoring your faith. A person without a strong faith or infrastructure in God, it is my belief that you will be lost in this place that we call life. So those four focuses, you'll take your life to the next level. We hope that you get your notepad, your pen, and that every episode will change your life. See you on the inside.
I love you, Poppy.
Yeah, they got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a Kias. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I can never take the credit. I prefer all cash.
What is going on, banker cousins? Welcome back to the Private Bankers Society podcast, a podcast where we actually give you real game, not just the ones and the twos that don't add up to nothing. And when we talk about that, if you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Tayler Jacobs, eight-figure business developer. We've built several multi-million-dollar companies from scratch, debt-free. We've been a part of some amazing things, my team and I. And I'm the founder of the Private Banking Blueprint, and the co-founder of the Private Bankers Society, where we want to give you all of the access to the life that you need to get you thriving and striving. Today we're going to be on part 3B of the 4 pillars. And remember, let's go back to the board real quick. We right into it, y'all. We right into it. Let's go back to the board real quick. So we talk about this board. We talked about our four pillars that we call our value system, right? We got our 4 pillars. All right. First pillar is your focus. That's our first pillar. Strong focus, strong mind is somebody that can never be beat on any day. The second pillar is your family. Understand the importance of a community, a society, a group of people that are all on the same page, working together to get to a specific goal or result is important. Number 3, finances. And this is exactly the section that we're on currently. Out of the 4, and the 4th is faith. We're going to spend some good time on faith. But right now we're on finances. The first section of finances was cash flow creation. And today we're going to be talking about number 2, which is cash flow hedging. So today is going to be a day where we talk about cash flow hedging. And I think this is probably one of the most important pieces to building, growing any asset class or any business, to take your business or your life to the next level. Banker cousins, if you banking what I'm thinking, put B's in the chat and let me know that we're ready for class to begin. Banker cousins, put some B's in the chat. Let me know that we're ready for class to begin. This is a live show, so y'all already know how this go. Regina put multiple B's. She put BBB.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So, all right, let's get right into it. So, when we talk about cash flow hedging, right, and we are trying our best to, understand how to make this money thing work. A lot of us don't know how to make this money work, and I see a lot of people talk about generational wealth. And for me personally, um, I used to talk a lot about generational wealth, and then I began to start realizing, Jake, you don't really know a lot about generational wealth. Although you study it, although you studied the families that were able to execute it, but a lot of it has to do with one generation after the other. And what I thought about is a lot of us, especially when we're on this race for generational wealth for our kids to have money and wealth, money and success and assets. It's like you're in a relay race trying to run everybody's leg but your own. You cannot control what you cannot control. And the only thing that you can do is run your race well, and to ensure that the risk of you losing is that gap is closed as close as it can be. But you cannot run the race for your children. You cannot run the race for your grandchildren. You cannot run the race for your great-great-grandchildren. It's just a part of nature. But the only thing that you can do is to make sure that you are properly well financially, that your children can see how you take care of your financial situation, and so that you can put your children in the best shape. And they got to put their children in the best shape. Now, it's your job to make sure that you're teaching. You stay healthy enough to stay around, to instill wisdom into your grandchildren. But at the end of the day, you cannot live their life for them. So let me take the armor off you. Let me take the cape off you. A lot of you are stressed out because you're trying to fix everyone else's circumstance and situation with this one business move or this one cash flow play. But the truth is, you need to first save yourself. And from saving yourself, you blueprint how you did it. And then you just teach your children how to do it. And then they got to teach their children how to do it. And that's how we can insist or incite a generational, quote unquote, wealth, just one generation after the other. And I think it's important for us to understand that. So what I want you banker cousins to do, I want you to put in the chat right now, I release. Man, that felt good. Put it in the chat right now, banker cousins. Put I release. I release. You're releasing all commitments that are not your own. You're releasing all expectations that do not belong to you. You're releasing all of the decisions that people make that have nothing to do with your personal household. You're releasing all of the responsibilities of decisions that you made that you know do not fit your decision. You're releasing all of these things away from you. Banker cousins, you cannot play the position of God, the ultimate God, in everyone else's life. That's why you're so stressed trying to get your financial situation together. Because you're trying to become God to everyone when you're supposed to just govern the God inside of you and lead by example. And y'all know I like to do this before we get started, before we actually get started in the actual lesson. But the deal is this, okay? The deal is this. There is nowhere in scripture that Jesus actually did the work for other people. Nowhere. When he went to raise Lazarus from the dead, he didn't do no oil on Lazarus. He didn't know. What did he do? Lazarus was in a dark tomb. A lot of us are in a dark tomb. What is dark synonymous of? Lacking of knowledge, lacking of self, lacking of confidence. Jesus represented light. What does light represent? Knowledge, understanding of self, true omnipotence, education, mastery. That's what light represents. Darkness is dark, gloomy. You can't really see everything clear. You have, and I love darkness, because when you think about darkness, think about the dark, right? And when any shed of light comes into a dark room, it creates shadows. And these shadows, if you are not aware of what they are, can seem scary, because these shadows make figures that are not real. because what light does, it exposes the things that we cannot see. And at first, it gets scary when this light is coming into your life and you're getting information from the Private Banking Society and you're a part of the elite program and you're getting education from our pod class. This light can seem scary, but you got to embrace the light because the education will help you get over the edge. If you bank it what I'm thinking, let me see some B's. So when we think about even Jesus, when he called Lazarus out of the tomb, out of darkness, out of death, out of being dumb, deaf, and blind, Lazarus got up on his own merit. Jesus didn't come and pick Lazarus up, and Lazarus was, his cousin. It was one of his greatest friends. He didn't go pick Lazarus up. Jesus didn't go and put his hands all over the lady that had blood issues and just kept bleeding. Jesus didn't make the disciple, he didn't grab his hand to walk on water. Every single person that was able to participate in the miracles that Jesus was able to present had to do it for themselves. Jesus was just the example, and they had to believe that they could be like the example, which created the miracle and ability for them to walk up out of their circumstances. I am stopping right here to tell you that no one's coming to save you, but if you believe that you are no different than me, you are no different than any other great man or woman that walked this earth, that's the first step. Then the belief is to what? Start moving in the belief. For yourself, because none of us can actually save someone else from themselves. It's important. And a lot of us carry this burden financially, and this is why we always end up in terrible financial predicaments. Man, I'm learning this lesson right now. Taking care of a bunch of people and not requiring people to give back is a burden that you should not be thinking to bear. Period and point blank. So we talked about cash flow creation. Okay? And this cash flow creation, we already discussed before on the last podcast how important cash flow creation is. Cash flow creation is your ability to see opportunity and find ways for it to be financially beneficial to you based on the skill sets that you've become competent, proficient, or that you have mastered. So you see opportunity, this actually goes here. You see opportunity based on your skill sets, and your skill sets produce you money. If you're just competent, the money that you make is lighter. If you're proficient, the money that you make is a little bit more. If you are a master, the money that you make is unlimited. So the more skill sets that you have under your belt and your ability will be the more opportunities that you have to be great. Okay. So limited skill sets mean limited opportunities. Limited opportunities mean limited ways that you can make income. Limited ways that you can make income means a limited life. Okay. Okay. So I want you all to understand the importance of cash flow creation. But as you begin to create this cash flow, you got to understand the importance of today's lesson. Cash flow hedging. Thanks, Renee, for being my note taker again. You got to understand, write this down. Today's focus is cash flow hedging. Today's focus is cash flow hedging. And I would propose
to you that
y'all need to pay attention.
that you pay close attention today, because this is probably the most important thing when we talk about this journey that we're on in becoming bankers, the journey that we're on to becoming financially solvent. Okay. So y'all know I'm very big on every pod class of helping you grow your vocabulary, with helping you grow your vocabulary by looking up what certain words mean so that you can be able to understand. Okay. And the reason why I talk about financial solvency so much is because the concept of financial solvency isn't overflow yet. See, there's a couple of layers to let me go here. There's a couple of layers that you got to understand. Okay. The first step, so our journey is financial freedom. This is when you're autonomous. This is what you call sovereign. I don't know how to spell sovereign. Somebody help me. Sovereign. I don't know. Something like that, right? This is what you call sovereign, when you're absolutely free. And I see a lot of people teaching, how to become solvent in America and how to become a free man or woman in America. But any man or woman that cannot take care of themselves financially above board is not solvent. I don't care what your papers say. Sovereign. I don't care what your papers say. Your papers mean nothing if you cannot financially secure your future on your own without the dependency on anyone. So the first step on the road to freedom, the first milestone, is financial independence. And this is the space that you have to master, because the financial independence is your ability to provide for your family, non-dependent on any one entity. You may work a career, you may work a job, but because of your array of proficiency and skill sets, you are never hog-tied to one job or one client for the safety and security of your finances. Any person that doesn't know, that doesn't have enough skill sets, and you do not harness the ability to sell yourself or market yourself, you are not financially independent, and you are in fact not ready for the road to financial freedom. Okay? I want y'all to understand this, okay? Learning how to negotiate, communicate your value is important. Learning how to negotiate and sell yourself is important. And for those of you that don't have the skill set to really understand why and how sales is important, you're missing it. It's not just about I'm selling like a used car salesman. If you don't understand the power of communication, the power of negotiation, the power of salesmanship, how will you ever be able to sell yourself into the position that you need to be to get the overflow that you should have? You have to be masterful or some form of fashion with your communication so that you can communicate your value. These are the basic skill sets that are needed in order for you to even get close to starting on your journey to being financially independent. If you don't know how to sell yourself in a position at a job or sell yourself, your product or service to a customer, you are at odds of waiting for someone else to give you an opportunity when that ability allows for you to give that opportunity to yourself. If you bank in what I'm thinking, press B. Type B. If you bank in what I'm thinking, type B. So salesmanship, just like in a private banker society, salesmanship is important. And this, y'all see this right here? This right here is what we teach inside the private banker society. Understanding all of these things will help you be able to master your ability to communicate what you bring to the table in a way that makes both parties see the value, want the value, and not feel pressure to move forward. It's important that we understand that. So in financial independence, it's your ability to do a couple of things, right? You're not dependent on any one entity. You have skill sets because skills pay the bills. And you know how to communicate your offer. Communicate value. These three things are important. That starts you on your road to financial independence. The second step is financial solvency. And the definition for financial solvency is this. It's just simply this. Y'all, we try to skip steps. We try to skip steps and we overwhelm ourselves because we don't think about the first step. Before I made my first million, before I made my second million, before I made my 10th million, before I made my 15th million, before I made my 20th million dollar, the only thing I cared about initially was becoming fully independent, where I wasn't dependent on any personal person or personal business. If somebody were to let me go or a customer were to say they don't want to do business with me no more, my entire life was not dependent on this one deal working for me for 20 years. I have the ability to go get more deals. Okay. But when we talk about the general terms of solvency, think about it like a company, okay? Because you are a company. Your family that doesn't have a family corporation, you're not a family, you're a mob. Any family structure that doesn't have a corporate structure is not an organized entity to go and execute effectively. Just like when you got married, you had marital papers. Excuse me. Just like when you got with your job, you sign corporate papers. Just like when you start a business, you have entity papers. Just like when you have your child, you have birth certificate papers. Just like when you travel out the country, you have passport of who you belong to papers. But when it comes to our family, what ties your family together other than y'all saying that, hey, we came from grandma now? Think about it. So until you start to see yourself like a company, you will never be in company with amazing, wonderful, great, that you will never be able to experience the company of what God has for you if you don't start presenting yourself like a company. Yes, you may work a job. Yes, you may be in a career, but nobody put a gun to your head. You solicited your service as a done-for-you service or a consultative type of service to go work a job for a specific given period of time. But because you don't know how to negotiate, because you don't know how to communicate and express your value based on data points and proof and case studies of what you've done other than a little paper resume, you will always be undervalued. Does that make sense? So when you go and work a job, consider yourself like a on-campus consultant. Now you got to negotiate your offer when you come to terms of agreement. Then when that money comes to the family house, guess what, family? Guess what? Guess what? You should think of that as revenue coming to the family corporation. But when you think of it as personal income, we begin to start doing crazy stuff with our finances. So when we talk about solvency, which is number 2, that's the second step. So financial independence, your ability not to depend on anyone. It doesn't mean that you're wealthy, doesn't mean that you're rich. It just means that you are capable of defending your own, taking care of your own financial responsibilities. Solvency, based on the definition right here below, is a company is solvent when its assets are sufficient to meet its liabilities. A company should also be able to meet its liabilities as and when they fall due. So becoming and being solvent is just your ability to be able to pay all of your responsibilities or your liabilities when they come up at any time that they come up. For an example, if you drive a car, press number 1 if you drive a car and your car has rubber tires. Press the number 1 if you drive a car and your car has rubber tires. Let me see something. Let me see if I'm talking to the same people. I'm not talking to aliens today. One. Everybody's one. Okay. Isn't it true that as you're driving your car, things can happen to your car going 90 to 100 miles per hour with debris everywhere on the roads, with rocks and nails and glass and other crazy drivers, isn't it? A clear understanding that there is a risk to your rubber tires when you drive? The answer is yes. So for you to get frustrated, blame God, blame the devil, complain, be upset when your tire blows out or your tire is flat and you don't have money to take care of that tire to get it a good tire, that is no one's fault but your own. Because understanding how to hedge against financial risk, we're going to talk about that definition in a point, is for you to say, damn, I depend on my car to get where? To my job. So if I don't have money and I don't save or store cash that can take care of my 4 rubber tires, so if I ever got a flat tire, it doesn't hurt me because I saved money for 4 rubber tires. So when it does go flat, and if it does go flat, I'm not worried because I'm already covered. It's called proactive maintenance of your financial survivalhood. I got 4 rubber tires. So why wouldn't I have enough money to cover if all 4 of my tires went flat? I'm driving a machine every day. Press the number 2 if you drive a car and be honest, you don't understand how the car works. You just turn that thing on and you drive. I'll press 2 myself. Banker cousins, press 2. If you drive this machine that is carbon plastic, 90 to 100 miles per hour, but you don't know exactly how it works, which lets us know what? If the car combust or don't work, guess what? You got to pay to get it fixed. This is what financial solvency is. Financial solvency says, if I cannot cover my losses of the things that I need to make me money, I am not financially solvent. I will always need and depend on the bank to bail me out. because I cannot bank on myself. Y'all, the concept of becoming the banker, being a banker cousin, joining the private banker society, becoming a banker cousin. The concept of becoming your own bank is not to be all solely dependent upon someone else coming to save your behind because you choose to party on your needed resources and then you're surprised when something happens. It's the craziest thing in the world. People say, Jake, you made a lot of money. Why don't you buy a house? Because I don't want to be financially responsible for a house, because I already know Dr. Jake. Dr. Jake gonna have a compound. Dr. Jake gonna have a lot of land. Dr. Jake gonna have all this stuff that's gonna require maintenance. And guess what? Dr. Jake don't want to be saving money around and storing capital for the HVAC system going out and cutting the grass on 30 freaking acres and getting cows and paying for cows. I need the tax write-off for my land. And then I got to make sure that the water filters are good. I got to make sure that the pool is fine. Of course, I got to make sure that my wife has a staff to ensure that she can uphold the household, and my brothers too. Y'all start to see, when I start to think about the responsibility of maintenance and staying financially solvent, I actually save money renting than I would if I ever were to get a house. We forget the taxes, you forget the maintenance, you forget the upkeep, you forget the breakdowns, you forget the flooding, you forget your children be boo-booing and flooding stuff and messing up the carpet. And there's a lot of stuff that goes when I can just pick up the landlord and say, hey, can you fix it? Because on my road to financial freedom, my personal house ain't got nothing to do with my freedom yet. So being financially solvent, again, let me put the definition back up. It's your ability to cover all of your liabilities if something were to happen. Can you bank on you? This is the start. And when we talk about financial solvency, this is where I call it cash flow hedging is important. This is where cash flow hedging is important. See, this is financial independence is cash flow creation. Financial solvency is cash flow hedging. And we're going to talk about that in today's focus. Okay. So let's look up the definition of cash flow hedging. We're going to go to Investopedia. I'm going to share my screen because I like all of us to know where I'm getting this information from so that you can go look it up for yourself. And we're going to go here. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Just want to make sure that y'all can see my screen. Let me see some B's in the chat if y'all can see my screen. Okay, good. So let's read this together. When we talk about a hedge, see, in order for you to become financially independent, you got to speak the language. Financially free, you got to speak the language of free. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen real quick. You cannot obtain what you cannot speak. It's a language. All y'all are dealing with a language barrier. That's it. So let's look at this stuff, right? Let's look at hedge definition, okay? Y'all, this be class for real, right? We be learning. Okay, let's look. How to hedge and how a hedge works. Using a hedge is somewhat analogous. Now, analogous is like common or or it's like comparable to. So using a hedge is somewhat comparable to taking out an insurance policy. If you own a home in a flood-prone area, you will want to protect that asset from the risk of flooding, to hedge it. In other words, by taking out flood insurance in this example, you cannot prevent a flood, but you can plan ahead of time to mitigate the dangers in the event that the flood occurs. Y'all understand that? Do y'all see that? Y'all understand what I'm talking about there? Okay, let's keep reading. So when we talk about this, right, we have to understand that let me go back to it and make it just a little bit bigger for y'all. I don't know if y'all a little blind like me, but Dr. Jacobs a little blind. All right, so there is a risk reward trade-off inherent in hedging. While it does reduce potential risk, it also chips away at potential gains. But simply, hedging isn't free. In the case of flood insurance policy example, the monthly payments do add up. And if the flood never comes, the policyholder receives no payout. Still, most people would choose to take that predictable circumscribed loss rather than suddenly lose the roof over their heads. So in the investing world, now this is the most important piece that I want us to get, okay? The most important piece that I want us to get right here. Two important pieces. In the investment world, hedging works in the same way. Investors and money managers use hedging practices to reduce and control their exposure to risks. To appropriately hedge in the investment world, one must use various instruments in a strategic fashion to offset the risk, adverse price movements, or, of course, things that happen in your life. Okay, so let's look at this. It says a perfect hedge is one that eliminates all risk in a position in a portfolio. In other words, the hedge is 100% inversely correlated to the vulnerable asset. But in even the hypothetical perfect hedge, it is not without cost. See, now, let me go back to you real quick, okay? So when we're talking about hedging, you got to understand that nothing in life that's worth something is free. Nothing in life that's worth value is free or is certain to be free. What I want y'all to do right now, can you just stop right now, like this video so YouTube can refer other people to it? Like this video right now and share it out to at least one person. Share that to at least one person who would need to hear this message today. So when we talk about hedging, and I talk to clients and I sit and help them kind of understand their wealth plan on their road to financial freedom. What we have to understand is this: financial freedom does come with a cost. Nothing is free about financial freedom. You either have to die or you have to pay for your freedom, but nothing is free. Okay. So when I state that and I understand that, when I hear people say, man, I got a car, but I ain't got car insurance. I got a house, but I ain't got no insurance. I got a phone, but I ain't got no insurance. That lets me know you're purchasing something that you can't afford to maintain. Because every strategy has to have a cost to protect the asset or the thing that you purchased from adverse things happening that you cannot control. Having sex but not being prepared for a baby is ludicrous. You already broke. You can't afford to have broke sex, because broke sex have broke situations that get children in broken homes because those children don't have the resources to get all of the nutrients of life. Everything comes with a risk. So I protect my hedge, not saying that something will happen, but if the effect of something that could happen, I am good. If you banking what I'm thinking, press B in the chat. So as I'm making my cash flow, I got to understand how to hedge. I have to understand how to take away all of my risk or the majority of my risk of my life. Y'all, let's just think about a couple of things, right? I want y'all to participate. Y'all can see it in the chat. What are things that happen in life with your life and with money that you can't control? Y'all put it in the chat, please. What are things that happen in your life or in finances that you can't control if it happens? What are some things? I feel like Dora the Explorer. Which color? Blanco. Good job. That's what I feel like right now. I'm waiting on y'all to give me a response. Lack of customers. See, I don't care. I like that, Renee. I don't care how much you're great at marketing. You still can't control how many customers actually purchase from you. Only thing you can do is control what? Getting your information out there, but you can't control who purchases it. Sickness, accidents, recession, sprained ankle during a pickup game having fun, but now you cannot work and your family depends on you. Y'all are independent. You are an owner, but you're stuck in your house for 2 weeks. But you can't what? Now you stressed out. Stress is elevated because what? When everything was good, you spent all your money like you will forever be good. So when something happens that is inevitable, that you cannot control, that you never planned for, now your family is in disarray because you was living life to the fullest. Economic downtimes, recessions. You can be working with the greatest consultant ever, but if the recession hits and it affects your industry, it's not the consultant's fault. There are things that are inevitable, but if I do not protect my asset of my business or my career with investing in myself and investing in education and understanding money and understanding risk and putting myself in a position so if something did happen, I could secure the fort down until I had a play in mind. Let me tell you the beautiful thing about peace of mind. Peace of mind, whether you believe it or not, you got to pay for it. Peace of mind comes with a price. Yep. What do you mean, Jake? Some of y'all want a foreign car, but you can't afford foreign maintenance. I had to put new brakes on my Rolls Royce. I already told y'all about the hubcaps, but I had to put new brakes on my Rolls Royce, on all four tires. It cost me $5,000. That's $1,250 per tire. But everybody wants to get the car. So you get the car, you making your monthly payments because that's all you can afford. Yeah, you stunting, but guess what? The moment that car need brakes or something, you can't afford the maintenance. So let's just talk about the hedging principle. And I want to make it extremely rudimentary. Okay. Let's talk about hedging at its basic core. Okay. Let's talk about hedging at its basic core. If I have a car and my car cost $30,000, I should have $30,000 worth of coverage to cover the car if something happens, and at least half of that in an account to cover any other things that I may need to replace the car, to do whatever to the car, to maintain the car. This is what you call a hedge. If my business is doing $10,000 a month in revenue, and if I don't have in an account or in a reserve or in my insurance reserve or in an asset that I can liquidate, if I don't have at least half of it per month that I'm storing away, over time, this becomes your own business insurance. Because guess what, y'all? No matter how great of a businessman or woman that you are, our businesses in your career will always take a hit at some point of your life. So to not be living life, buying your peace, see, this here is peace. If your car break down, are you going to be upset if you know that you got money to replace it? Somebody answer that. If you know that what I purchased I can replace, it doesn't affect you when lifes. But we get so confused. Like when we purchase stuff or we do stuff, like life doesn't have the right to life. So the reason why I love putting my money, my surplus cash inside of stuff like insurance reserve, my business makes money. My business has what calls surplus profits, which is money after expenses. That's what surplus cash is, money after expenses. Now, when you run a business and you are the leader of your household, or you're a breadwinner, not you could be the or a breadwinner with your spouse or by yourself, or you're the visionary of that company or for your family, if you go down, how much would that affect the entire existence of your children or your spouse that depends on you? How much would that affect? How much would that affect you? If you go down, it will affect you immensely. It will affect your family immensely. But for some reason, we act like we above life and us. And see, this is when God teaches the lesson of you got the audacity. God is really good with the audacity lesson. Oh, you living life like shit sweet, huh? Okay, let me just let this car hit you. Let me just let this happen to help remind you that a proactive man is a good man. Just because you make a lot of good money, you can buy some expensive stuff, doesn't mean that you're a good man or woman. So my surplus cash, what benefit does a bank account give me? Safety, convenience up to $250,000. Cool. That's all it gives me. An investment account. If I put my surplus cash in an investment account, now my surplus profits, y'all, this ain't my investing money yet. This is my surplus cash that I need to facilitate and function and to hedge the company's losses or my losses. Surplus cash. I put in an investment account. Yes, it can grow in value, but damn sure as fast as it grows, it can diminish in value. So yeah, I can grow, but it's not hedging risk. But if I put my money inside of an insurance reserve, and we talk about this a whole lot more in the private banking society, if I died with the bank, if I got my money with the bank, what does the bank give me? Anybody? Anybody? If I died with my money in the bank, what benefit does the bank give me and give my family? I need y'all to answer quick. This is class. Come on, answer quick, answer quick. What benefit does the bank give me? Nothing. Your regular bank account, not your insurance, your bank account, you get nothing. Your family gets the however much money that's in your account minus probate. And because you're a non-custodial of your account, the government gets first what is due to Caesar. Scripture says you give Caesar what is due to Caesar. So is putting my money inside of a bank account, my surplus cash, a hedge against risk? Anybody can answer that. When you die, and the government has to assign your assets because the government has first claim to your assets of all non-custodial assets, i.e. your bank account and your estate. Your family gonna get less money than you actually had in there. Marlon gonna say, this is why I say banks are good for transaction only. Like I ain't the one who taught Marlon that. Boy, y'all, Marlon funny. Y'all see M. King talking about this is why I say banks are good for transactions only. Boy, you funny. That's my boy. He gonna say that's what I say. Marlon, you funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's my boy. So no. He said, yo, Marlon told her, let me, yeah, y'all know we in class, so I gotta laugh. I gotta laugh. Hold on. Yo. But Marlon, how you do a typo on I versus YOU? Yo, why Marlon treating me like all these gurus that be watching and taking my classes and then going and making a program off of my program, acting like it's their program, talking about, I always said. Boy, you is spelled YOU. How you typo I versus YOU? Oh man. Oh, let's go back to it. So when we talk about the bank is not a good hedge. The bank ain't no good hedge. That's why the bank don't even keep their own money in their own accounts. The bank don't even bank on itself. He's always look. I'm just messing with you, Marlon. You know I love you, man. But y'all gotta admit that was funny. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was funny. Thank you, Marlon. I needed that laugh this morning. Gee whiz. You is. All right, so the bank doesn't even operate like that, right? The bank don't even operate like that. Okay. Juanita Ford got your back, Marlon. Well, Juanita got your back, Marlon. I see you, Juanita. You better take up for your banker cousin. All right, so bank account. Now, investment account. How does this hedge risk? If I'm putting all of my surplus cash inside of an investment account that can go just as up and just as down as fast, how am I protecting and hedging myself against risk? We aren't. So imagine this. We go from, and listen to this backwards. Remember, the devil is nothing but the entity teaching you to live or showing you how lived backwards. So the only thing the devil or the enemy is trying to get you to do is to live backwards. So common education, financial literacy, they tell us you need to invest in the market. You need to invest in a market. You need to invest in the stock market. So I'm living an already risky life. No matter how secure you feel you are in your career or your business, you are still at risk. So I'm living a risky life, and I'm putting my extra capital in a risky investment. No wonder you don't feel comfortable. No wonder you feel uneasy. No wonder when things happen, you lose yourself. And not only that, they tell you to put your money in accounts that you can't touch to 60, 70. Does that make sense? So, but if you were to die, get sick, or anything, what will putting your money inside of an investment account give you? Nothing. But whatever is left in here at the time you need it. And you better hope that the market's not down when you need it. See, this is why I tell you, when we're building and we're on our road to financial freedom, our goal is to first eliminate as much risk as possible. I want to eliminate as much risk as possible. I'm not telling you to not invest in the market. I'm not telling you not to buy companies. I'm not telling you not to run your business and invest in staff and equipment and growth and marketing, all that stuff. But the first thing that you have to be thinking about is protecting risk. For an example, when you build, say you are building a kingdom, okay? Say you are building a kingdom, like a real kingdom. You're a king or you're a queen. And you got all of the people that are part of your kingdom. Your castle is up. Your kingdom is great. Would you enclose your kingdom with gates and boards and stakes in an entryway to protect your civilians? Or would you just have an open kingdom where anybody can come and attack it? Which one? Gates, protection, army? Or would you just go out there and start trying to increase your territory, but you don't protect the home? Of course, protect, fortify. But when we're on our road to financial freedom, it is like adverse information that people are giving us that protection fortifying the money that you have, the assets that you have, are not as important as growth. I'm not going to go increase my territory and not protect home or my principal or my assets, which is the banker's number one rule. We went over this yesterday. We want to protect our principal. Write that down. Protect the principal. And the principal is the initial money that you have. It's money you're working hard for. I want to protect it. I want to make sure that it's good. So why I like to put my money inside of insurance reserves, which is a life insurance policy, is because there's a couple of things. That when I put my money inside of an insurance policy, if I died, my family gets the death benefit. So if I were to pass away, my family would get 8 figures, which is above 10 million. Now, do y'all think I put 8 figures inside of my insurance reserve to get this protection? Anyone? Do y'all think that I put over $10 million to get protected? $10 million? The answer is no. So that already beats both of these. When I put my money inside of my insurance reserve, I get a guaranteed 4 to 7% every year. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. If I put my money inside of a bank account, is the bank giving me guaranteed interest? Yes or no? If I put my money inside of a bank account, is the bank giving me guaranteed interest? Yes or no? Thank you. No. No. They give you 0.06%, but what that help? Because you still get taxed on the 0.06%. So what is guaranteed? Imagine having your money in an account, storing your cash in an account where they give you 0.06%, but then you're taxed on the 0.06%. Don't even give it to me. I'm taxed on the 0.06% that you give me. So the insurance reserve beat the bank. Now, although in an investment account, it is an investment account, not a hedging system. And although you can make more money, and 9 times out of 10, you will make more money than having your money in the insurance reserve. But is there any guarantees that an investment account gives you that you know for a fact guaranteed that you'll hit every year? Are there any guarantees? This is why I tell people all the time. A lot of people are teaching people to put their money inside of an insurance policy for an investment. It is not an investment. It is a hedging mechanism on your journey for wealth. It allows for you to be able to use your money in a multitude of different ways using the same dollar. Because wealth, success financially, is how can I use this same one thing in a multitude of different ways and get multiple uses out of it. That's when you're using something to its maximum benefit. So I get no guarantees here. Well, insurance reserve protects me. Also with this plan, if I were to get sick, the insurance company will allow for me to get up to $1 million up front. If I got critically, chronically, or terminally ill, they let me take $1 million from my death benefit up front. So my family will be left with 9 million versus the 10 million. So this isn't the money I put in. This is their insurance that I'm buying to hedge my risk. Does the investment account offer that? Does the bank account offer that? The answer is emphatically no. What about tax benefits? Can you access your money get access to capital off of your money tax free? In a bank account? No. In an investment account? Yes. You can borrow against your portfolio. But that's only if you're only invested in blue chip stock, which are the top companies. If not, the answer is no. So again, the insurance reserve wins. So not only do I get 4.7% on the money I put in, not only am I protected by the death benefit, not only do I get access up to $1 million up front of my death benefit, not only does it protect me when I get sick, not only does it protect me, does it allow me to access the money tax-free, the money grows in there what we call tax deferred. So that means that you're not taxed on any of the growth that happens inside of your reserve from the 4.7%. So when we talk about the perfect hedge, there is no better hedge than dumping your surplus cash inside of your insurance reserve. But here's the last cool part. Here's the last cool part. Say I had $100,000 inside of my insurance reserve. And say they got me a death benefit of, let's just call it $10 million to keep numbers even. That's my death benefit. That means that if I died, my family will get 100 million and I only put 100,000 in there. Okay. This is the insurance company's pool of money from all the other policyholders going into one account. This is their investment pool of money. This is how they grow the money. They invest in bonds, stocks, all the other stuff to make sure you're good. Okay. If I wanted to access $50,000, if I were using my investment account, if I had $100,000 in my investment account and I needed $50,000, I will only have $50,000 left. If I needed $50,000 from $100,000 from my bank account, I would have $50,000 left. In your insurance reserve, if you need access to $50,000, the insurance company will give you $50,000 of their money without you touching your money, and your money is still going to get what? 4 to 7% on the full 100,000, while you borrowed against it 50,000. Now, what the insurance company is going to do, they're going to put a lien They're going to put a lien on 50,000 where you can't use that 50,000 right now. You can't use it because why? You're using 50,000, but your whole 100% is getting 4 to 7%. So your money continues to grow as you use their money. Now you use their money to go make your investment into the investment world, into a house, real estate, or into a business, or lending it out to people, or investing in the stock market. And then this money grows from whatever your investment strategy is, while your money is still growing. So let's do some quick math. Let's do some quick math. Let's see. Carry the 1, 2 to the 3, 4 to the 7, drop the 6. There is no other value when it comes to your wealth development. Renee said, an insurance company called me a few days ago and I asked them about insurance reserves with my life insurance. They never responded to me. Of course they don't. That's why y'all should be coming to us. But we only help clients and get you in the right policies if you're part of the Private Banker Society. We only help our private membership group. So you're in good hands. You know that, Renee. Appreciate that, Kayla. So if we're talking about this role to becoming a banker, it's asking yourself, how many ways have I made this $1 make money for me? So, hedging, right? I got $1. You put your 100,000. You put your 100,000. in the bank account at the bank. I put my 100,000 in my insurance reserve. So with the same 100,000, I got a death benefit of millions. With the same 100,000, I get 4 to 7% every year in interest and dividends. With my same 100,000, I'm covered with any chronic, critical, or terminal illness up to $1 million. I get that up front because of the same 100,000. Of that same 100,000, my money grows tax deferred, and I can access their money tax free. The bank gives me 0.06%. I lose custodial rights to my own money. So I no longer have rights to that. They use my money to go make more money and don't share none of the dividends. I put my same 100,000. It protects me from litigation. Nobody can sue me for what's in my policy. It protects me from financial attacks from lawsuits. That's what litigation is, in case y'all didn't know. Here, the government or the judge can seize control of my bank account at any time. So, if you were to look at it, math to math, apples to apples, side by side, for the same $100,000 I'm putting every year into an account surplus, which one gives me more bang for my buck, gives me more amenities and value adds to it? Which one? Bank account, insurance reserve. Bank account, insurance reserve. Oh yeah, I forgot. With the bank account, whoop-de-doo, they give you a debit card. But if you put your money in a savings account, you have easy transfer. Fine, whatever. That's the only thing it beats us here in, because here, all you got to do is sign 2 papers, and they'll wire you your money within 1 to 3 business days to that account, which means there's no real difference in benefit. You still got access to the money. Oh, the debit card. So as y'all can see, on your road to financial freedom, we got a lot to learn. We got a lot to learn. That's why I wrote this curriculum. That's why we created the Private Banker Society. Because I don't have time to be teaching y'all all this stuff on the social of the medias, okay? I ain't got time. This is why we created a society for you. That's why we created a society. We haven't even been open. This society hasn't even been launched more than a week. It just hit a week today. We're at 214 members in our free group. Look, you got a little bit of training. You get a taste of what it is, and then on the elite side, These are people who are paying for the private membership to actually get access to classroom information. Y'all, I got a whole program teaching you private banking, insurance reserves, how to make sure that you're good, how to understand money, the evolution of currency. I'm teaching you all of this. We teach you the skill sets that you need to master so that you can become more valuable to society and make more money. We have business models in here that you can be able to utilize and launch yourself. And so much more. So much more. You can get access to it for those of you that are not a part of our private banker society. Hope said, I'm going all the way with you, brother Jake. I hope so. Hope. A lot of people tell me that all the time, but they don't have what it takes to slow down and learn something. You can go to privatebankersociety.com. You can go to privatebankersociety.com. Just go to privatebankersociety.com. And you can actually get a part of this group for free. Our paid membership section, our elite side, is not open until Black Friday. Black Friday, you'll be able to come inside. Right now, we have our council members testing everything out. They're making sure the classes are on point. Matter of fact, let's look at some of the reviews we're already getting. Let's look at some reviews. Y'all can go see this in the free community today. You'll get access today. Let's look. Oh, hold on, real quick. Can somebody tell me how many hours of classroom learning must a student complete to get their bachelor's degree? How many hours of learning must a student complete to get their bachelor's degree in business, accounting, finance, or any degree really in college? Can somebody tell me? It's 120 plus hours. 120 hours gets you your degree. Inside of Private Banker Society Elite. Let's look at some of this. Let's look at this real quick. It takes about 120 hours to graduate college with a bachelor's degree. Inside of Private Bankers Elite, we have more than 136 hours in counting of classroom style learning, from skill sets to financial education to full business model case studies. There's not one person on the planet that can dispute the value of the Private Banking Society Elite, and we are just getting started. Let's look at some of these. Yep, I agree. The training inside Private Banking Society is priceless. It will change your life forever. Whether you work on your own business or you're trying to start a business, the skills and training inside of PBS will take you to the next level. PBS is a community of like-minded individuals that are warm and welcome. I see you, House of Callaway. I've never been in a group that truly delivers the things that they promised. That's a big thing. And if I'm being real, PBS has over-delivered, and I'm not even halfway done with the training. Not to mention, they are adding trainings regularly. There is no doubt in my mind that I'm in the right place, and I know that in a year's time, not only will my life be changed, but I will be able to help change the lives of others like I've always wanted to. House of Rucker Harris, the training in Private Society is one of the best. It helps you develop good skills that can help you grow and gain cash flow. My brother Charles could be one of the most important decisions. Y'all see Charles with the hat. Oh, I see you, Charles, looking like a brother, light-skinned brother right there. Most important decision for you to make for your family's future. Do them a favor, at least check it out. Come on, Shamika. What I love about this community is that is in fact a family. When God gave us scripture based on Deuteronomy 8:18 to go and accumulate and get wealth, he meant exactly that. Listen, there are so many gems and jewels that are being dropped that I bought myself several notebooks to take because this class is a must. She crazy. Let's go, Stit. Dang, Stit. You're going to make me cry. This is long. We're going to read that together. Hold on. We're going to read that one last. That one's long and good. Invest in yourself by joining PBS. You will get in return skills that no one can ever take away from you, knowledge and wisdom that you can apply immediately, and experience for yourself. Most importantly, a community of like-minded individuals moving forward and growing together in our own individual way. D. Simpson says, I feel like my life is changing and I'm just getting started. Amen. I'm so grateful that I decided to invest in myself. I was told that if you feel your life is cheap, it's only because you believe that investing in yourself was too expensive. Ooh, I see you, D. We have everything that we need. Shan says, Samuel says, so much gems are given when Dr. J speaks on YouTube. The elite group is better. Oh yeah, let me stop here real quick. If y'all are getting amazing value from the Private Banker Society free pie class on YouTube, just imagine for a second what type of information is inside of the Private Banker Society Elite. It's mind-blowing. So when you become a Private Banker Society member, you're joining a private organization where we privatize all of the access and resources that you get. All of the education, all of the training, even some of our technology resources come with your membership. It's free. It's complimentary. It's like getting a membership from the YMCA and getting all of the other resources free. It's like getting a library card and being able to participate in all the things that the library generates you. That's what the Private Banker Society membership is. We don't charge for our education. And then when we bring an expert to come and teach our Private Banker Society elite members, and if they have a program, we're going to get every single one of those programs 50% off. I gotta announce that to the Private Banker Society Council. I gotta announce some things to the council that I can't announce to the public yet. I'm sorry. Let's keep reading together. The training provided by PBS is invaluable. Adrian said, I have been engaged in a champion of higher education for the last 20 years, and I believe in the transformative value of education. PBS surpasses all of my expectations and is well worth the investment. Lori said, welcome home, family. I love the family vibe within society. To know that my cousins are on this journey with me is invaluable. This must be a word that y'all is in y'all vocabulary. I need to add invaluable to mine too. CB Trust said, well, family, we tell you what, this is by far the best decision that we ever made in the hands to abundant skill sets and wealth of knowledge our family already has. It is our birthright to walk in this blessing. Let us all be grateful and observe each morsel of energy presented by cousin Jake and his boss team. Like a sponge, we'll soak up an overflow of water. You better speak, SB Trust. Let us all soak up in this overflow of knowledge, pouring from the multitude of gifted spirits and this beautifully blessed collection of like minds. Oh, you know how to write. If you think this introduction classes is amazing, wait until you get inside the elite Private Bank Society. Let's go. Denise said, best decision ever. Join the Private Bank Elite Society is transformative educational experience like none other. This is where you want to be for you, for your loved ones. Dwayne Henderson, man of not a lot of words. Indeed. Marlon, the topics and the lessons are timeless. They've been of tremendous value before the pandemic and now during the economic decline. Implementation of these strategies are current and work in today's time. Now let's go and read this long dissertation that Stitt wrote. Whew, let me drink a little water because my shanana. Stitt said, I honestly do not know what to say. The Private Bank Society is truly an online university and the best internet. You better speak it, girl. The best international business school on the planet. I always dreamed about going to business school in my younger adult years, and now it is a reality. I used to always say to myself, how could that happen? Because I knew that I would never go to a traditional university again. Therefore, I just started writing my dreams in my journal. Then one day, true story, I started turning into ABS Tribe. I just so happened to be strolling on Instagram. Then I said again to myself, I have no connections. How could these things be happening for me? Then I heard Dr. Miles Monroe. And then God said, whatever you find your hands to do it, God is with you. Then the Lord allowed the world. She teaching that talk, huh? God is with you. Then the Lord allowed the world to shut down for 2 years. God incubated me. Come on with the incubation. Then I said, Lord, if you don't get me out of this, it is not possible. Then I started reading the word through sermons of T.D. Jakes, Miles Monroe, Jackie Flemings, and started power walking. You better walk in power. Started taking notes on sermons, meditating, praying nonstop. I did take some breaks to watch Tabitha Brown and sitcoms for a balance. Then a young man, she talking about me, y'all. Dr. Jake, that's me right there. I'm going to insert my name right there. Kept talking about private banking on Instagram and YouTube. And I said, there he goes again. I knew that I had to keep up with the world, finances, and technology because the Lord is moving at a steady pace. I said it was cousin. I said, I don't know when I'll get this opportunity again. He was so genuine. I said, who is this? It was cousin Jake. I could tell you he was a righteous dude. I could tell he was a righteous dude, though I never met him in person. He was his authentic self. I said, I got to jump like Steve Harvey often says, in less than 6 months, my life has never been the same. Come on, God. I am forever grateful for Cousin Jake and his down-to-earth and still professional staff. All I can do at this point is keep walking forward, knowing I am in good hands. Like State Farm, y'all. She said, good hands like it's State Farm. Put some B's in the chat if y'all like some of them testimonials. Put some B's in the chat. B's in the chat. I read those testimonials to y'all for one reason. Hold on one second. Yeah, I read those testimonials to y'all for one reason, so that y'all can see we're making a real impact. And let me tell you something. Our membership to the Private Banker Society is literally only $141.50. $141.50 for over 130 plus in counting e-learning educational style classrooms, lives, trainings, Q&As. All of that will start after Black Friday. You get access. We teach you business, finance, faith, how to build your family, how to utilize technology, how to onboard technology, how to make it your friend. So it is like an international business school when you join the elite program. And I'm 100% proud on it. And I stamp my own stamp of approval with that. So I'm just excited to be with y'all on this journey. If you are already a banker cousin, a part of the Private Banking Society, you know what you need to do. Share this video to anybody that's on the edge of joining. Make sure that you have your banker cousin link so they can be able to join through your link so you can get credit for it. If you are not a part of the Private Banking Society, what you sleeping on? Go to privatebankingsociety.com and join the free version of it for free. You can be in there as long as you like, but we hope that you don't like to be in there long because you got to get the education that is required for you to take your life to the next level. So yeah, we talked about this. We talked about cash flow hedging. We got 2 more points on finance: cash flow stacking and cash flow stacking and cash flow and asset multiplying. And then we're going to move on to the last pillar, which is restoring your faith. So we went over restoring your focus, restoring your family. Now we're talking in the terms of restoring your finances. And then the last pillar is restoring your faith. We're not there yet. But as you can tell, the well doesn't run dry because it's in me, not on me. I do it. I don't teach it. I preach it. And I walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. I just want to say, y'all, we absolutely love it. Oh, and here's one thing I want you all to understand. In business, your customers are a reflection of you. And if you ever were to go inside of the Private Banker Society, 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 the Private Banker Society,
Oh, thanks, Marlon. He said it costs more to learn and deal with life lessons unprepared than it is to join PBS. It's a life hedge. Wow. Thanks, Marlon. PBS is a life hedge. And our motto for the Private Bank Society is making families great again. I want to make families strong. I want to make people proud to be a part of something bigger than themselves. Our goal is to help 10,000 families make an additional surplus $50,000 a year, because that's all you need to get on your journey to financial freedom. Just an additional $50,000 a year, and I can show you how to become a millionaire. No sweat. Becoming a millionaire overnight is not ever going to happen. I never teach that, but I can teach you how to be a millionaire for the rest of your life. And we got some other cool things that we're only going to announce to the Private Banker Society members. So you can become a member for free. Just go to privatebanksociety.com, become a free member. But if you want to get becoming an elite, it's $141.50 at this moment. But just know, y'all, I got some crazy stuff that's happening. And I just love serving y'all. And the point that I was making was you can judge a person by the type of customers that they have. Y'all, we got some real wholesome type customers from many different age demographics. From mature all the way to young, y'all, we got multiple generations inside the Private Bank Society. So that should let you know the depth of the information that's being shared, and the examples that's being used can be used, altered, and seen to be beneficial from our even most mature to our most immature as far as age. That's a beautiful thing to me. It's like we're building a like a society. You can't have a society with all age groups, right? So we got that, and that's cool. I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And I got to close the vault because the Private Bank Society podcast show is officially done. Yes, your customers are a reflection of you. So if you don't like your customers, you probably don't like yourself. Because I love mine.
Yeah. Look. Billy got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man win.
Hold on. We gotta start that over. I know y'all like ending the show with the song. Did y'all hear that? Let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Oh my gosh. Y'all heard that? Did y'all hear that? I know y'all like to stay for the song. Let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. See, we talking about grown folk wealth building up in the society. Let's get it.
You, Poppy.
Yeah. Look. Billy got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching, nails trying like a kiss. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I could never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go. Yeah.
I love you, Poppy.
I don't even know the half, huh? Love. Yeah, they got it bumping. Hey, it ain't even about the money, it's about the potential. A lot of people play the game without the fundamentals. I can see it in my mind, it's all about your mental. Till I turn it to a tangible, it's all pretend though. I be focused on the vision that's in front of me. We gon' turn these L's into luxury. I done turn these thoughts to a company. It ain't even up to me. Why you think I'm walking with the sun so comfortably? All I got is God to accompany. All I saw were odds out in front of me. Then I realized they ain't touching me. Only thing can stop me is my unbelief. I see Maseratis when I go to sleep. Wake up to a coffee and the dopest beats. Rap is just a commentary. Everything I do from here is legendary. Even if I never write a verse again, I purpose with the best of everything. I was born to win. Yeah.